In our last investigation, we pulled back the curtain on one of America's strangest and most enduring secrets, the story of the alligators beneath Alcatraz. We explored the declassified blueprints, the cryptic testimonies, and the chilling psychological motive behind using apex predators as a tool of absolute fear. As we proved in that documentary, the concept was not just plausible, it was a reflection of a specific, ruthless mindset, a dark chapter in the history of control. We thought that was the end of the story. A bizarre, forgotten piece of folklore, sealed away on a cold rock in San Francisco Bay. We were profoundly, dangerously wrong. What if that experiment, that dark blueprint for a perfect, inescapable prison, never truly ended? What if it wasn't a historical anomaly, but a foundational concept, a classified file in a dusty cabinet, waiting not just for a specific political climate, but for a specific type of leader to resurrect it? A leader unbound by conventional morality, who understands that symbols of fear are the ultimate currency of power. And what if I told you that this new, far more terrifying version is not just a plan, but an active, unfolding project, whispered about in the darkest corners of the internet, and inextricably connected to one of the most powerful and controversial figures in modern history? This is the story of the Alligator Alcatraz conspiracy. This isn't history. This is a clear and present danger. It's a deep dive into a swirling vortex of anonymous insider leaks, cryptic land deals, and undeniable political rhetoric that all point to one, shocking, and world-altering conclusion: a secret detention facility, a black site inspired by the legends of the original Alcatraz, is allegedly being constructed in the swamps of Florida. Its ideological architect is said to be Donald Trump. The official narrative is a wall of silence, a confusing mess of no comments, strategic deflections, and outright ridicule aimed at anyone who dares to ask the question. But online, where information flows outside the control of the mainstream gatekeepers, the story is exploding. The keywords tell the tale: Trump Alligator Alcatraz documentary, and the bone-chilling phrase Alligator Alcatraz concentration camp. These aren't memes, they're warnings. But unlike most internet myths, Alligator Alcatraz is very real. In mid-2025, Florida officially opened an immigration detention facility at the former Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport in the Everglades, operated by the Florida Division of Emergency Management in partnership with Homeland Security. The name Alligator Alcatraz wasn't a nickname, it was used proudly by officials like Governor Ron DeSantis and his legal team. Its purpose: housing undocumented migrants flagged as criminal aliens. Its location: an isolated swamp surrounded by dense vegetation and apex predators. The argument was simple: nature itself becomes the wall. The Everglades aren't just background, they're part of the prison. The swamp, the heat, the insects, and yes, the alligators, serve as natural deterrents. It's Alcatraz 2.0, this time with teeth. From a psychological warfare standpoint, it's brilliant. If the threat of deportation doesn't scare you, perhaps the image of being locked away in an alligator-infested swamp will. Florida officials have even admitted this openly, calling the facility a tool for voluntary self-deportation. But critics say it's a moral catastrophe. Human rights groups, lawyers, and former ICE officials have condemned the program. Reports from inside Alligator Alcatraz describe horrific conditions: overflowing toilets, minimal food, 100-degree heat inside tents, and no access to legal representation. One whistleblower claimed that people were crammed into chain-link cages for days. Another said detainees were denied basic hygiene for a week. The Florida government has denied most allegations, but refuses press access to the site. Drone footage and satellite images confirm the rapid, secretive construction of military-style tents, floodlights, and helipads. Activists say this facility violates the Geneva Conventions. Lawyers argue it's Guantanamo in the swamp, without due process, without oversight, without escape. And then there's the history. Florida has long had a dark legacy of racialized incarceration, forced labor camps, and lawless detention zones. The fact that this facility is located near historically sacred tribal land only deepens the controversy. Seminole and Miccosukee tribal leaders have condemned the site, calling it an environmental and spiritual violation. Environmentalists warn of damage to protected ecosystems. But lawsuits to halt operations have failed in court, so far. The symbolism is no accident. The alligator has been used since the Jim Crow era as a racist metaphor, especially in Southern propaganda. To bring that into modern immigration policy is, according to civil rights historians, a deliberate and chilling signal. Trump has embraced this signal. During his 2024 campaign, he openly joked about alligators and snakes at the border. He repeated those jokes during his visit to Alligator Alcatraz in July 2025, calling it the safest prison in the country. The media's response has been split. Right-wing outlets applaud it as tough but necessary, while mainstream and international press liken it to a concentration camp. The ACLU, Amnesty International, and Human Rights Watch have all condemned the facility. And yet, the myth grows. T-shirts, memes, MAGA fan art, it's all there. Trump's followers have turned Alligator Alcatraz into a symbol of patriotic strength. One viral post read, "We don't need a wall, we have gators." But the fear goes deeper. Legal scholars warn that Alligator Alcatraz sets a precedent, using environmental hazards as de facto prisons. The line between natural border and psychological torture zone has never been thinner. From a legal standpoint, it's a nightmare. The detainees inside have no clear legal status, no timeline, no charges, just indefinite confinement in inhumane conditions. Advocacy groups are filing emergency writs of habeas corpus, but results are slow. Meanwhile, drone operators, ex-military contractors, and leaked internal documents have painted a chilling portrait of what may come next: expansion. Florida quietly purchased another 1,200 acres near the facility. The plan? Add 2,000 beds and expand holding times. Some believe this is only phase 1. That future presidents, of any party, could weaponize this model: secret, remote, deniable detention facilities with a built-in threat environment. No walls. Just swamp. Just fear. Just control. It's no wonder the internet exploded. South Park parodied it. Reddit conspiracies dissected it. And yet, the facts remain harder to debunk than the fiction. The monster under the bed turns out to be real, and it's covered in scales. And that brings us back to where we started. The myth of Alcatraz. The use of fear, isolation, nature, and legend to break human will. In the 1930s it was the shark-infested bay. In 2025, it's the alligator swamp. So what are we really witnessing? A security innovation? A PR stunt? Or the construction of America's first myth-based detention system, one that runs on fear, spectacle, and silence? One thing is certain, Alligator Alcatraz is no longer a metaphor. It is a place. With walls. With barbed wire. With people inside. And with a national political movement defending it. If this story made you question what you thought you knew, and if it made you wonder what else might be hidden beneath the polished surface of official history, then do 4 things for us right now: thumbs up emoji, like this video, white check mark emoji, subscribe to Brain Buzz Media 24, writing hand emoji, leave a comment below with your theory, bell emoji, and hit that notification bell so you never miss what we uncover next. Because the deeper we dig, the stranger the truth becomes.